Eric Bana. Welcome to America.
Thanks, Chelsea. This is my official welcome.
This is your first. I'm surprised you're here, actually, in person.
This is what I expect at customs, like when I'm getting my passport stamped.
Things have
this
changed.
Would be much better.
Yeah, things have changed a lot since your last trip over here. Because I know you do come when you have to do press to America. I know your wife doesn't like to travel. Rebecca doesn't like to travel. But you come.
She came on this trip, actually.
Oh, she did?
I coaxed her in. Yeah.
Are you trying to make me jealous?
No, I'm just pointing out that I managed to, get her on a plane. But no, I don't come here too often. I haven't been here for quite some time. But anyway, it's lovely to see you.
It's lovely. It's always lovely to see you. You know who I was with last night?
No, I don't.
Connie Britton.
No way.
Who Eric starred with in Dirty John.
Dirty John.
That's one of your favorites.
We've actually spent a lot of time on this podcast talking about Dirty John. I don't know if we had you on to talk about Dirty John.
No.
But Connie's a very close friend of mine.
Right.
And we were at a friend's house last night. And I just think that whole story, Dirty John was just... I know Connie was acting, but she kind of is dingy like that in real life. So I always like to remind her that
You're saying it wasn't a stretch.
I just was like, how could anyone be that stupid to believe this guy? And I didn't like you playing that role either because you know that I have strong feelings about your acting, your performing. You know that I've always had a crush on you. I mean, we've passed the point of it being an issue because we've known each other for so many years. So it's not an issue.
Yeah.
I've met your wife. I understand, so it's not a problem. But I didn't like seeing you play that kind of character.
No, fair enough. And I had a lot of people who had a visceral, physical reaction to me after that.
Did they?
Yeah. Like people would cross the street, and even people that in my suburb, at coffee shops and stuff, they just kind of recoil for a couple of months, which I took as a good sign. Actually, you know what? I should play more of those sort of characters. I want people to recoil when they see me and run.
Yeah. Well, that's better than being bombarded all the time. I would imagine you would want to break from people at some point. I mean, I feel like, that was a really repellent character. But you've played other repellent characters.
Yeah, I love repellent characters.
Yeah, you like that.
I love to be repellent.
I mean, the new show that you're on is Untamed. It's on Netflix. It's already started streaming. And that I like because you were on a horse immediately out of the gate. You were on a horse and you were a park ranger and, some sort of detective. That's where I like.
Non-repellent.
That's the vibe I like to see you in and embody. That's when I feel the safest with you is when you're in this kind of role. Right. You're solving a crime. You know what I mean? You're like the tough guy.
Supposedly trustworthy.
Supposedly.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, you're Australian, so not in this movie though. In this show, you're not Australian. You play an American, and the accent is very good.
Well, for this stage, if I can't, I'm in trouble, right?
Why do you think it is, Eric, that so many Australians can do such great American accents, but Americans can't really ever do Australian accents?
You know why? Because you don't try.
Really?
Yeah. When was the last time you tried to do an Australian accent?
I can say no. I know how to say that.
Honestly, I would really love to see more Americans forced to do an Australian accent.
I know. Then they would be eliminated from the acting industry because it would be brutal. It would be brutal.
It's like a tax we have to pay, to work internationally. We're either playing Brits or we're playing Americans. We don't have a choice. You don't see Australian people in international film, right? We just don't exist. We don't exist as a species.
As species.
There shall be no Australians appearing as Australian in any film or TV show.
Do you guys think you deserve that?
Yes, we do. We've worked for it. We've worked.
I don't know. It's a very young country. You guys are a younger country than America.
And peopled with criminals, of course.
Yeah, and littered with criminals, right.
No, it's a fair point. I'll go back into my shell.
I know a lot about you. I know that you love race car driving. You're really into that. I saw a film once that you did about it. And I know you're a big family man. I didn't know that you were attacked by kangaroos.
Attacked by
were you in a kangaroo fight?
I was picked on by a kangaroo once when I was camping by myself. Yeah, that's true. It was just one guy. He was, I think, the leader of the pack of the valley. I picked the wrong spot to pitch a tent, and he shaped up to me. He did.
And what is the process of how does one handle an infraction with a kangaroo?
Well, I'm glad you asked because I didn't know either. I wanted to Google, what the hell do I do? This guy wants a fight. Right. I had no cell phone coverage.
Right, of course not. So, you're in the outback.
I'm in the outback. And so I thought I'll scare him off with my motorcycle. And I walked behind the motorcycle. I put the bike between me and him and I started it up. I'm like, this 1200cc beast he's just going to go running. And he didn't move. He didn't flinch. And he actually had a facial expression like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
That?
You think that's going to – and then he just kept hopping around trying to square off at me. I since learnt that I should have perhaps not made so much eye contact and sort of gone into his space. I should have retreated. But I had the worst night's sleep. I was in a single-man tent and I was just picturing like Cujo, like this thing's just going to come in and just rip me to pieces. But I survived.
Yeah, well, because you're a survivor. And it's funny, though, that because you don't think of kangaroos as a very aggressive type animal, but they are kind of aggressive.
They can be. Look, my fault.
Was the kangaroo, were you drinking with the kangaroo? Because I know a woman who had a cocktail with a monkey and then the monkey attacked her.
No, I was not drinking. I was by myself. But as I said, like I would have attacked him if he was if he appeared in my bedroom as well. I was in his backyard. I was sleeping under his tree. I didn't know. I should have done my homework.
What other close calls have you been involved in? Have you ever had a shark incident?
No.
Have you ever seen a shark?
Oh, yeah, I've seen plenty of sharks. There's a place we used to go to called Lord Howe Island, which has loads of sharks out on past the reef, but not where you swim. Like I think I think they're pretty safe. I love them.
Yeah, well, all Australians say that.
Yeah.
They say they're not here to eat us.
They're not.
But they are eating people. So, I know they're just trying to take a bite and then they decide, oh, I don't like that. But whoopsie doodle, then the person's leg is missing.
Yeah. I think the sharks that do that are a little bit off, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I think
a little bit. I hear, copy that.
They've been, discarded from the pack, perhaps.
What about poison? Well, I don't think they travel in packs. But
You've
anyway.
been to Australia. Don't make it sound like this unwelcoming, violent.
I love Australia. First of all, you don't have to tell me about Australia. I know you're from Melbourne, but I prefer Sydney. I just was there last year. I did a tour there again. I reached out to you, of course, to invite you to my show as usual, and you didn't show up.
Well, I was in Canada making the show we're here to talk about, so I wouldn't be here now if I wasn't unavailable to you back
obviously,
then.
we need you on Untamed. That was a priority. What about a deadly snake? Have you ever come into contact with a deadly snake? Because I fucking hate snakes.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes. I like to play golf and I see them quite a lot. We get browns and all sorts of stuff.
The brown ones are the really dangerous ones. But in Australia, basically all snakes are dangerous.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you're going into their area, Chelsea. Like they're not actually, sometimes in Queensland, they might put themselves inside your shoes.
Are they golfing? That doesn't seem like their area. That definitely seems like another area that they're invading.
On the fairway. Actually, they do cross the fairway sometimes as well.
The brown ones are the grossest ones. I find those that.
Yeah, they're big. They're big and they're thick.
And I once saw a picture of like a golf course that was just laden with all of these snakes. I don't really think it was in Australia. It was probably somewhere in Florida. But there were like 8 or 10 huge snakes on the golf course. And I'm like, oh my God, that is like my worst nightmare. Are you a good golfer?
No, I'm not very good. My wife's way better, unfortunately. But I'm only 3 years in.
Is your wife teaching you how to golf?
God, don't bring this up. She's so good, it's annoying. But, she's a better athlete. She played tennis as a kid and I can't say it comes natural to her. She's worked really hard. Anyway, she's about 7 shots ahead of me. Can we move on?
Well, you're embarrassed, and you should
I'm
be.
Embarrassed.
It's good. Well, women are
No, I shouldn't be embarrassed. Why shouldn't she be better than me? Why should I expect to be better than her?
Well,
really?
Because you're an Australian male. That's probably why you're thinking that. By the way, that's a urine sample. Just kidding. I would never do that to you, Eric Bana. I would never do that to you. Okay, so now let's talk about some of your roles because I want to know which ones mean the most to you. What role of yours made you, I know you loved working on Troy, right? With Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And who else was on that movie? Was it Orlando Bloom?
Orlando Bloom.
He's fun.
So many great actors. Sean Bean, Mr. Cox. I mean, it was just amazing.
And I know you said about that movie, had it made no money, you would have still been just happy that you had done it because you were in such good company and you enjoyed the
I feel like that on
experience.
everything I work on.
Do you?
Always. Like what happens afterwards, you do the thing and it's like you put that experience in a box and you lock it away. And sometimes, I know this sounds ridiculous, sometimes I actually forget that people are going to see the thing. Like now I'm out here talking about Untamed.
Something that's already over,
I had such an amazing time filming that last year. And you know how beautiful it is in BC outside the back of Whistler where we shot most of this. I mean, I was getting paid to be on a horse up in the mountains every day, hanging around with the most incredible crew, working with amazing riders. And then now I'm like, oh, that's right, people are going to see that. I forget.
Yeah.
I forget we're making it for people. It wasn't just for us. I literally forget.
But it's also like with the way the industry is now, there's so much, you know what I mean? We're so saturated with so many TV shows, so many films. There's so much that it's like, it's not as big of as a drumbeat to get to things for releases for things as it used to be.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it feels like there's a lot more that comes and goes much quicker. So to have something like a project adding on to what you're saying, that there's like a little bit of lag time to promoting something. But British Columbia, I think I think you'll agree with me, one of the most beautiful parts of the whole world.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways we were lucky. We couldn't get into the key parts of Yosemite where the series is set in summer because of practicality reasons. So we ended up
because of what happened with you and that kangaroo.
Yeah, exactly. They heard. So we ended up in BC at the back of Whistler for most of it. And
did you see any bears when you were in BC?
Do you know what? I wanted to, and I saw none. And we had a bear guy. Who was like, you know, our safety and the bear's safety. I'm like, dude, what? You're full of shit. Where are the bears? Like, there's just nothing. I heard a rumor that some actors in the past had put stakes outside of their. I'm not going to mention any names.
Okay, well,
not on our show, by the way.
Okay, well,
had put stakes on plates outside their trailers to try and get an Instagram moment. I didn't do that, but I didn't see one bear, so I need to go. I mean, I would have more chance of seeing a bear on a ski lift in winter than I did on this show.
Where did you guys stay off the back of Whistler, you keep saying? Where were you? Do you know where you were?
Well, we stayed in Whistler and then we travel out into the back. Yeah.
You know I have a house in Whistler.
Well, I know, but you never offered it.
Well,
you knew
I
was
didn't
there.
even know you were. No, I didn't know you were there. This is you. This is what I'm talking about with our relationship. You're constantly very close by and acting like you're nowhere around.
So you claim no one at Whistler told you I was there?
No one.
Really?
You would have heard from me, Eric. If I had known you were in Whistler, you definitely would have heard from me.
You don't go there in the summer.
No, I go in the winter.
Very picky.
I go to ski. You know, I like skiing.
So I knew that.
So yeah,
I knew
but I've never seen a bear there either. And
really?
At the end of ski season, when the snow melts, there's always bears. You know, so this year I stayed extra long because I love the idea of seeing a bear. My dogs look like bears. I feel like I have a connection to bears, and I feel like I could handle a bear. You know what I mean? I would know what to do in that situation more so than a snake or a shark or a kangaroo.
Right.
But this year I kept waiting and they were like, oh, there's a bear at the end of the road. And then we drive down the end of the road, the bear would be gone. So I still haven't seen my real life bear.
The area that we were filming in at the back of the old Olympic ski park, there is a grizzly there called Debbie, which they saw at some stage in pre-production. I'm like, Debbie, where are you? Like, Debbie did not come out.
Yeah, especially
but
a
grizzly. But she's like a big grizzly.
But a female grizzly is going to be even more dangerous than a male grizzly.
Fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. So back to the question about what movie role do you think, like, what is one movie role that you think has had the biggest, not even impact professionally, but on you personally?
That's a really good question because I've had like 4 or 5 that have been really special. But in terms of
Which ones?
Long-term friendships, my first big American film was Black Hawk Down, which was this huge ensemble. And I, to this day, have like 3 or 4 of my closest friends are from that shoot that we stayed in contact with. We had hotel rooms on the same floor. My son was like 18 months, I think, at the time when we turned up. He was 2 by the time we left. I'm literally catching up with one of those people tomorrow night.
Great.
So in terms of like impact on your life, I'd say that would be the greatest, mainly because of the friendships that were forged.
Yeah.
And I'm not alone. There was like different gangs of friendships on that film because the cast was so huge of like 2 people there, 3 people there, 5 people there. And it's the same for everyone. Everyone is like super, super tight from that film. Troy was really special. Munich was really special.
Munich was a great film.
There's been so many that I think the big long shoots where everyone's away from home has something special to it. I'm usually the only guy who's away from home. I'm usually somewhere where everyone's sleeping in their own beds at night and I'm going back to an apartment and whatever. But on the big ones like that, it's a bit more of a bonding experience. You know?
Yeah, which is hard because you're also away. There's a bit of a summer camp vibe to it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's hard for you to be away from your family too. I mean, maybe it's not hard, but it's obviously not. You'd rather be with your family.
Yeah.
And you're the one traveling from Australia. But your kids are grown up now and in college.
Big. Yeah, well,
right?
they're past that stage. They're 23 and 25. Yeah.
And are they still speaking to you?
They're still speaking to me. Isn't that fantastic?
Wow.
Yeah, one of them just FaceTimed me from Europe today. They're out of the house and stuff. So, yeah, Yeah, I'm old. I'm so old.
What are you and Rebecca
So
going to do
old.
now that your kids are like adults?
Empty nest.
How are you
Do-
going to celebrate your life?
We'll do more travel. We'll play more golf. We'll have some fun. We'll drink.
You'll
I'll
get-
get her to drink more than one glass of alcohol a week.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Get her
She's
to go
going
a
to have
bit.
to
She
step
needs
that
to
up
loosen
too.
up.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember the
Can
night?
I send it to you for a week?
Absolutely. I can train anybody. I can train anybody to drink more. Remember we went to dinner one night in Melbourne and then I got into the van on the way out and I went to go to take a step up. I had had a few cocktails, of course.
Yeah.
And I stepped up and then I kind of fell into the van and Eric's like, "You're right there?" And just kept walking, just walking by me. No, I think this is a perfect time for you guys to travel, enjoy your lives. You know, it's so nice when kids are grown up and they're cooked. I know they're never fully cooked.
Exactly. No, it is. It does feel amazing, and it's also that it's that age you think will never happen. You know, when you've got like you just think this point will never ever come where you'll just travel and it won't really matter where you are because they're not around. So it's kind of fun. I mean, it's kind of sad in some ways, but it's amazing.
And what do you think if you had to describe yourself as a dad? How would you describe yourself?
Oh God, I definitely try and be funny. I think my wife and I are really similar. Like we're just really into it, really into being parents. Like we were always really, really into it. So I would say they were always sick of me being around. They were like, "Can you just go back to work? Like enough of you already." So yeah, I don't know, something like that.
Did you find out were you surprised to find out how much patience you had as a father?
Well, it depends on the day of the week.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you say patience is one of your strong suits or one of your less strong suits?
No, I would say in life in general and in work, I'm very, very patient.
Yeah.
Very, very patient.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to work on my patience.
Yeah.
With stupid people, it's very hard for me.
No, fair enough.
You know, stupid people. It's very hard for dumb.
everywhere.
I don't like to. I want everyone to assess a situation quickly and then move on.
Is it stupid people or is it inefficiency? Because I have discovered recently that all of my close friends, all of my male close friends, are high intelligence and have no capacity for inefficiency. It's just I just discovered this one day when I was telling my wife about the story. I was just recently traveling with a buddy of mine, and his bugbear is checking into hotels. Anything more than 3 words, any
me too.
fingers that tap more than twice.
I don't even want to interact with the person.
Yeah.
Just
He's
bring me to my room,
Yeah.
and then also don't come in.
Yeah, hand me the key. Don't give me the tour. Say nothing.
My issue with impatience is when the interaction it's exactly that. When it could be succinct and yet it keeps going and there's a back and forth. It's like, I already have clocked what's going on and I've expressed to you via me, hosts, that this is not, like, this is over. Like, I got it. You know, it's even on planes, I notice when it's almost like people want to just waste time, talking to people. I think I think planes specifically, because people seem to get nervous on planes. And I think they like to talk too much just because they're feeling nervous.
Ordering food. Like people at, like when you're in line and someone's ordering and they're having like a conversation with the cashier.
It's so fucking annoying. I hate that. Or in airports when people are just standing there. I'm like, what are you doing? Move. No one is here to hang out and meet friends here. No one is here for that reason. The purpose of an airport is to get from one place to the next place. So fucking move your feet. I don't understand either what's going on.
And no 3 or 4 abreast. Fucking come on.
Oh, no.
No,
please.
Because those people are never paying attention
either.
either.
Don't say abreast either. Don't throw that word around either. Are you somebody that would ever listen to a show, watch a show on your phone, or have a FaceTime call on your phone without a pair of headphones on, Eric?
No.
Exactly.
No.
That's the right answer. I had to confront about 3 different people on my last travels. I was just in Europe for 2 months.
Let me guess, were they Americans?
No, they were men, though. They were men. There was one woman, and she was elderly. So I was like, am I going to, because I am very, listen.
She might have been hard of hearing.
Well, but she still could get headphones. I mean, you know what
it
I mean?
might have affected hearing aids or something. See, that's where I'm going.
Well, that's nice. But
what did you do?
I thought if I said something to the 2 men and I didn't say something to the woman, then that would be sexist. And I don't want to be sexist.
You're a modern
Eric.
woman.
Yeah, exactly. You know
Take that bitch down.
So I said, "Excuse me, miss, do you have a set of headphones?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But yeah, there was
Good
a guy.
reaction. Were you surprised by how well she
No,
reacted?
because I'm so nice about it. I go, "I'm so sorry. Would you mind not watching that fucking race car show at full blast volume while we're on a fucking plane together when everyone, it's just so inconsiderate, you know? I mean, and it's definitely more of a male thing, of course, like everything, where people just don't consider that other people may not want to hear your social media or your FaceTime call. I mean, it kills me when someone's on a FaceTime call without
walking
a headset.
down the street.
And you're just like, do you want people to hear your conversation?
They do. That's the truth. No, they do.
No, yeah.
They totally do.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
It's an
flexing.
attention thing. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to take a break and we're going to be right back with my favorite Eric Bana. Okay. And we're back with Eric Bana. I have to put on my reading glasses. Okay. Tell me why you wanted to do Untamed, Eric.
I love the pilot episode when it was sent to me. I just thought it was so brilliantly written. So it's, and selfishly as an actor, honestly, when I'm reading something as an audience first. That's the truth.
As an actor or as a person?
As a person, as like, does this interest me? Do I think this is great?
Yeah.
And then the second time it's like selfishly diving in, okay, what's this character like? Blah, blah. So I read, I'm like, I'm so in. I like, whether I'm in this show or not, I'm watching this, like it's not going to be on my list.
Because the first episode is very intense. Lots of things happen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The opening, I was like panicking under my covers.
So I loved it, and I loved the character of Kyle. And then I met with Mark and we spoke, and I was like, I want to help set this up. I want to make this show. So that was 5 years ago. So it took us quite a while to get to this point.
I would lose interest in something if it took 5 years.
So you got to have patience.
But 5 years is such a long time.
We wouldn't be here talking about this if I had no patience.
I know.
Anyway, no, I just loved it, and because I love a murder mystery. So many of us do, but I'm done with people driving around in cars and knocking on doors. So here we were in a national park trying to solve a crime, but in the most beautiful, epic setting, which has an element of danger to it. And for those of us who love nature, we know there's yin and yang. It's like you're exposed, it's amazing, but there's always this element that I could be in a little bit of danger here. So I love the idea of that genre or that kind of program, but set somewhere amazing as a point of difference.
Yeah. I mean, it means even more to me now that I know it was shot in Whistler. I didn't even know that. I didn't even recognize it watching it, that it was shot in Whistler.
Well, hopefully you don't, because, you know, we had some B stuff from Yosemite that we stitch in to make it, you know. Right. So that's good.
All national parks look the same to me. You know what I mean?
Once you're in the woods on a horse.
Once you're a park ranger for one park, you're a park ranger for pretty much all parks.
I'm not a park ranger, but anyway.
No, I'm talking about myself. Yeah. I'm a park ranger.
You're a federal agent, right?
I'm a federal.
Yeah.
I'm a park ranger.
Investigative Services Branch. Thank you very
You're
much.
a permanent investigative.
Yes.
Whatever. They put an investigative in front of anything, and that's what he is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, should we start with
I want to hear Eric give advice to people.
Okay.
This is good.
What sort of advice?
Yeah, this is called Dear Chelsea, first of all. So it's called Dear Abby. Yep. So people are going to call in for life advice. And based on based on your life experience, Eric, everything you've been through, you are going to tell them what you think they should do.
Fantastic. Yes. But hang on. Will they listen?
So, yeah,
will they listen? Will they take it on board? Do I get evidence as to whether they took this shit up or not?
I'll let you know, because people follow up with us.
Because my wife and I are sick and tired of giving advice to people that they don't take up. Okay?
That's true.
So this comes with a price. There's going to be follow-up. Come on.
All right. Well,
let me at them.
And you can demand it of the callers when they come on. You can say you better follow up.
Bully the caller. That's a good approach.
Well, this one's just an email, but I thought this would be a good one. We were just talking about traveling, and, you know, especially since you have 2 grown kids, you might have some insight on this. Elizabeth says, Dear Chelsea, for the sake of sisterhood, help a girl out. Back on our 3rd date, 18 years and 2 kids ago, my husband and I dreamed of living abroad for a year or 2. Think Europe, Asia, epic memories before our kids hit high school and stopped thinking we're cool. We fell in love with Barcelona a decade ago and said, this is the place. Well, one day is now. Our son's headed into 6th, daughter into 3rd, and the clock is ticking. We can technically afford it in the long run, but my husband, who runs his own law practice, calls it, quote, financial suicide. Meanwhile, I've been in and out of full-time work since COVID, and the plan would be for me to be on team logistics while he keeps the lights on. He feels the pressure, I get it, but also, YOLO? How do I get him to jump? We both want this. We're dreamers. This country is a dumpster fire. The kids are still impressionable. And honestly, the crisp Spanish white wine is calling. Tips, pep talk, Chelsea wisdom, I'll take it all, Elizabeth.
I mean, I think you have to go for it. You have to. First of all,
Yes.
no time like the present, especially with what's happening in our country.
Yeah.
A great reason to get out of there and great reason to expose your kids. I mean, I'm surprised they're even willing to take their eight and third grader, 8-year-old. And no, I think you are 8 and third grade,
Something
whatever
like that.
the ages are.
Yeah, 8 is third
Take
grade.
them. But I mean, if they made that agreement, then they should follow through on that. That's a good idea. Don't you think?
I think it's a terrible idea.
You do?
No, I'm joking. I absolutely. It is the best thing they will ever do for their kids, for their marriage, for themselves. I understand hubby's point of view. He's a bit stressed about it, but 10 years from now, he'll look back and go, I don't know why I was stressed about that financial situation. I made good on that, within 2 years. But the kids will never forget it. Our kids traveled a lot through my job. They remember every single location we ever shot in. They remember absolute specifics. So it's a no-brainer. You've got to do it. How do you get the husband over the line? You tell him.
Threaten him.
Oh, it only gets harder as the kids get older. If you don't do it now, you will not do it. If you didn't, and listen, don't let him say, you know what, let's check in again in 2 years. That's not going to happen.
Because 6th grade is right before junior high,
You've got to go.
Yeah, right.
It's
you do
gotta
have
happen.
to, and also you have to take life by the balls. Like, you know, saying something like it's a financial suicide is very dramatic.
Yes.
It's actually not going to be financial suicide. You'll figure it out. And everyone does figure these things out.
And even to that end, like, I'm not exactly sure about the logistics, but like, he could have a paralegal or an assistant who's stateside and in your time zone, and he can be working remotely, I would imagine.
But you know what else? The financial suicide thing, that's something that's in your head when you're in your current bubble. And the minute they land in, where is it, Barcelona. The words financial suicide will slip out of his brain. Gone.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
You're always worried about the
So
things
get on that plane.
Yeah.
And it'd be great for your kids to learn Spanish. That's really important for Americans. And then also, like, they're not just going to be in Barcelona. You're going to be taking weekend trips all over Europe.
Yeah, you guys can go spend time in my house in Mallorca. I mean,
you go.
hello.
Perfect.
Duh.
There you go.
Yeah, hello.
All right, done, Elizabeth. Let your husband know.
But again, I want to hear Elizabeth.
We'll
I want
follow
to see a
up. Don't worry.
photo
I'll
from
do a follow-up
Barcelona.
email with you. Okay, you can
Okay.
count on that.
And you know what? I'll even say, Elizabeth, if your husband is not convinced, he can call in. You guys can call in for a couples counseling with
But
Chelsea.
tell him Eric Bana just told him to do it. Like, what's the gonna?
Yeah,
there's
he'll
not
love
gonna. There's not gonna be a bigger conversation after that. I don't
He's
think.
gonna have
I don't
the
think
time
so
of his
either.
life over there.
Well, our first caller is James. James is from Louisiana. He says, Dear Chelsea, I'm a 26-year-old bisexual man from South Louisiana. I've only been with men since coming out about 6 years ago. I live in a small town where everyone knows everybody's business. This past Christmas Eve, my mom was in the Dollar General when the mother of an old friend of mine walked up to her. She proceeded to tell my mom that she thinks her daughter's child is mine. Within the first couple of minutes of hearing this, I was in denial. But after looking through pictures, though, I'm convinced the child is mine. The quote-unquote father of the child doesn't know this information, and the mother is in a mental health facility for 18 months getting help. I'm at a loss for words over this one and would love some advice. Thanks for everything you do, James.
Whoa. Hi, James. This is our special guest, Eric Bana, today.
Hi, James.
Hi, it's nice to meet y'all.
You too, mate.
Hi.
And James is having a bout of Bell's palsy, so we have a little bit of a slurred speech.
No
but
problem. No problem.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah. It was not cute.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're dealing with a lot of stuff right now.
Yes, I am.
And
I definitely am.
And how do you think you want to handle this?
I'm still just kind of like dealing with this at the moment. But as far as like the kid situation goes, I mean, I've had a similar view on kids as you have. And I've never really, especially I haven't been with a girl since like 2018. So that's something. But then what's really pulling me in are the amount of like concerning things like with the child's father, like supposed father. He has like a Confederate flag on the back of his truck, which is like all you need to know about that. And especially growing up down here, my cousin actually babysit the child before because it's a small town. Everyone knows everyone. She had like seen a picture of the kid on the fridge and had asked like, hey, is that James? The mom, she had said, no, that's actually the kid, but we think that James is the kid's father, and told her not to say anything. And this is like a few months before she admitted herself into that mental health facility for 15 months. So yeah, and then there's little things like the kid likes My Little Pony and stuff like that. And he also has like a brother who's the complete opposite, more similar to the father.
But you definitely had sex with this woman, right? There theoretically
yes.
you could be the father.
I did once, yes.
Oh, okay. So you could be the father.
I could be the father.
Wow, that's heavy.
But you don't know 100%.
We don't, and my mom was in talks with the grandmother about like a DNA test and stuff like that, but they kind of thought it would be a better idea to wait until she gets out so she doesn't feel like blindsided, which I understand.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, she's already got a husband with a Confederate flag, so
Yeah, and they're actually, so they're not really like together.
okay.
Is another thing.
So
not
who's,
that really.
who's looking after this little girl right now? Her grandparents?
So it's a boy, but yeah, her grandparents, and they're staying with the dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you need to process exactly how you want to approach this before you actually make any move. You know what I mean? Since it's a huge responsibility and it is like the rest of your life, you first of all want to go about it the right way and actually make sure that she is your daughter 100% and do a DNA test. Because son, sorry. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. It's
sorry.
okay. It's all right.
And do a DNA test, but also figure out what the timing of that, what the timing is and what makes most sense with regard to the mother being in that facility, right? Like
Correct.
there's a lot of delicate issues around this.
Correct. And she does get out in November. So
Okay.
Well,
that's something.
Yeah, I think maybe at that time you can take it upon yourself to suggest that, you know, in a face-to-face with her about doing a DNA test, or if she thinks that you're the father, you know, you might not be.
That's also true.
So, yeah, so it's not like, you know, a black and white situation just yet. I think it's something that you really have to handle with a lot of delicacy around, you know, until you actually do a DNA test.
Got you.
Do you think that he should have a conversation with the grandma, the one who approached his mom, and just to sort of like get the lay of the land with the, you know, supposed father and the mom?
Yeah, I think that would be. Are you up for that?
Yeah, I'm totally up for that.
Yeah, I think you just be as, you know, as nice and reasonable as you obviously are. And have a conversation with her. If she's the one who initiated that conversation, follow up with it like any responsible adult male would, you know, or should. Follow up.
She literally walked up to my mom in Dollar General and was like, so I don't know if it's my place, but I think your child is my grandson's dad. And just like on Christmas Eve. So it was just crazy.
That's a lot. It's a lot.
And then how old is he
a-
now? How old is the boy?
He's like 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this will be something for him to process too, like when and if it comes out.
Yes, I think be very thoughtful. Don't have like an unnecessary interactions with the child until you know for sure what the situation is. And start with the grandmother. And then in November, when the mother comes out, then you can have a conversation with her too. And then just take steps in the direction of, you know, of finding out for sure. But don't do anything rash right now.
Her. And then I also have a boyfriend.
Oh, another question. This is a double header.
That caused some tension at the time. We've obviously built on our relationship, so I think that it would be fine if it came down to it. But that's just a whole nother thing because it's like.
Yeah, but again, I think you're getting ahead of yourself. I think you just take it one step at a time. You don't have to solve all of the problems on one day, you know?
Right. That's my problem.
Yeah. So just don't overwhelm yourself. You know, you're dealing with a lot. So just take it. The first step is you're going to have a conversation with the grandmother.
Heard.
And I would also say, check out our episode we did with Karamo Brown because he has a really similar story. Like he had sex with a woman once and, you know, found out way later that he had a child with her. And now they have a wonderful relationship. So check that episode out.
Awesome. Will do.
Well, thanks for calling in.
Thanks, James.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just lastly, anyone who's on Medicaid, there's a lot going on right now. Like with changing and stuff like that. And when this happened, I didn't realize that I was thrown off of it. So anyone who's on it, anything can happen anytime, and make sure that you're keeping up with your deadlines and stuff like that because they're trying to trick people left and right.
Yeah, that's a good reminder.
Just to throw that out there because that's some scary stuff.
Okay, thanks, James.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thanks
Y'all
for
have a great
calling
day.
in.
It's so nice to meet y'all.
Nice to meet
Likewise.
you too.
Follow up with us.
Yes.
Oh, God.
I know. It's a complicated situation.
That was a double header.
He needs to go to Barcelona.
Doodle. Yeah, he needs to go with that other family to Barcelona.
Oh, man.
I know. Can you imagine if you found out that we had a baby together, Eric? Can you imagine? What would you do?
Well,
I mean, and you wouldn't have even remembered how it happened. That
What,
would
it would have
the
been so
biggest-
quick?
That would have been
Is that
the
what you're
biggest
saying?
rub. No, you would have been like, no, not so quick. You just, I mean,
Oh,
it's a lot to deal with.
James.
It is a lot.
Unexpected things in life. It's a lot to deal with.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
That
it's
is a lot.
No,
I
I
mean-
mean, but as a dad, obviously it's a different situation. But as a dad, I mean, I would assume that you would encourage him to like try to develop a relationship with this kid, right?
But once you know for sure,
Yeah,
you don't just
it's
take
different,
what
yeah.
someone says at face value. Like,
No,
who knows
100%.
what
Exactly.
In the Dollar General.
And you know what?
Right.
What the hard thing also is like I didn't want to ask James this, but it was like, how would he feel? Would he feel better or worse if he found out tomorrow that the kid wasn't his?
That's a good question. Why didn't you ask it?
Well, because you guys were talking,
Oh,
and so
I'm
I didn't
so
want to
sorry.
interrupt.
That I was talking on my
I'll text you
podcast.
after.
I'm so sorry.
You know, like
You know what? I
would
didn't
that-
take a pain pill today for my foot because I wanted to be coherent for this interview. I wish I had taken it now. I really do.
I don't know. I mean, would he be relieved or would he be devastated? I mean,
Right,
for how many
right.
years now has he thought that this child is his?
Just recently.
It's
Yeah,
only
since-
really
yeah,
recent.
like
Okay,
six
so it's not
months.
like he's been living with
Just
this for
since the
years.
Dollar General store interaction. Do we have an easier question
Do we
for
have
Eric? Do you want me to do like a
You got
simple
something
math?
to do with motorcycles or
Can you?
football?
Do you have a Lego set of motorcycles that he can put together?
You know what?
A lot of grown
have-
men are into Legos now. Do you know that?
It's
That's a thing.
My
What's
sister-in-law,
going?
Really?
my
It is.
sister-in-law's into Legos. She's like,
But
that's my
why?
relaxing thing. I put together Lego sets.
But are these more intricate, crazy?
I think they're cute, and
Lego
like
sets?
there's, you can do like a little flower pot or like different fun, cute things, or like the set of Harry Potter.
Recently at a Formula One race, the trophies were sponsored by Legos. They got their podium trophies in Lego.
Oh,
Now, I'm not sure
That's
that
kind of
goes in the
neat.
cabinet with all the. And what happens if you drop it? Like, is someone
drop
come
it.
around?
I think
and
they're
with this
different. They're high-tech
instructions?
Legos now. Like they stick together. It's not like it's a.
I think one of these fell apart.
I went to my first Formula One race in Barcelona a couple months ago.
Did you love it?
Yeah.
It's a very particular thing.
It's I felt watching those guys get stuffed into those cars with that dry ice being blown in their faces to cool them down made me feel, and I just can't believe that those guys are in the car for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that long. So it was pretty intense, and it's definitely athletic.
Yeah, and it's a different. It's also like I love it, but there is a point where I do prefer watching it at home. Like I do love being at the track sometimes, but for the race, I do actually really like watching it. At home with all the commentary and stuff. But no, it's a pretty incredible environment. I was recently on a trip around Europe with a buddy of mine for a few weeks on motorcycles, and we took in some motor racing and went to the Austrian Formula One race, which is great to compare it to because we have Melbourne Formula One, which is
Right.
like 5 minutes from home, and it was great to compare the differences. But yeah, it's a whole other world.
You've never driven in one of those races.
Not a Formula One car. No, but
No.
I've done a lot of racing like GT3 and
You don't have to be
stuff,
defensive about it.
No, I wasn't being small dicked about it at all. I was just, trying to claim my bona fides.
There was a long conversation. Brad Pitt was recently on Dax's podcast, and they were talking about Formula One for almost 2 hours. And I texted Dax, and I was like, I can't believe you think people want to listen to this shit.
People are so
Like,
into
I
it.
just can't believe people love Formula One.
Yeah.
Like, they love it.
Yeah.
And the reason I went in Barcelona is because I was performing, I was doing a show, and my cousins wanted to go. She's like, come on, let's go. Well, you'll get the VIP treatment. And I was like, okay, we'll go. And then they put me on the pad or like the pit or the, what's it called?
No, I think I saw a photo. Which team were you with? You were
the
in
Williams.
someone's. Oh, with
the
Williams.
They
Garage.
both lost
Okay.
that
Did
day, of course. Did
you have the headphones on and were able to listen to all the
yeah,
stuff?
Yeah,
it's cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did for a while, but you know what the best part was? The catering. I mean, I've been to a lot of VIP, like Wimbledon, where you go to the suites
Oh, yeah,
and
you were
stuff.
at Wimbledon last week as
And-
well.
and-
You've been everywhere.
And yeah, I
She's
get
all
around.
over.
I was in Glastonbury, and then I went to Wimbledon, and that's what happened with my foot.
What's next? What major event are you ticking off next? Have you done the Australian Open?
I'm going to
Tennis?
do the Australian
It's the
Open.
best.
Do you go?
Yeah, it's the best.
I fucking love tennis. I was just watching Wimbledon this morning before I came over here.
Yeah, I think
Alcaraz
Sinner's
just won, and Sinner's playing
doing
Djokovic.
Djokovic, I think. Yeah.
Is he beating him?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I have a lot of respect for I mean, I've seen so many of his finals
Yeah.
in Melbourne. Like, he's just a freak. I mean, I love Sinner as well. Like, it's handing over of the guard, isn't it, right? I just hope there's going to be a third. The Alcaraz Sinner. We need someone else.
Yeah, we need a third one. But you know who is, Alcaraz is so much fun to watch.
Yes.
Like, I love him. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Sinner
Love the
is
way
an
he plays.
amazing player, but
Yeah.
it's less fun to watch that.
You know, he used to be a downhill skier.
I know.
He's a champion
he had to
downhill
choose
skier.
between skiing and
Yeah,
tennis,
yeah.
just like I had to choose, and I chose
you
skiing.
chose podcast.
I chose a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Kate is deciding about whether to stay with her longtime, husband, I guess.
Okay.
But
Okay, well, this will be
Buckle up.
something. This will be
Buckle up.
something that Rebecca can relate to.
So Kate is 36, and she says, "Dear Chelsea, I've been married for almost 8 years, together with this man for almost 20 years now. Recently, some things have come up that I think I've always known deep down, but never wanted to fully admit. My husband is so smart and talented in so many ways, but has never reached his full potential. He's always bounced between dead-end jobs and unemployment. He drained our savings training to be a pilot, but that never went anywhere. In the meantime, I've worked my ass off to be where I'm at in a great career, and I've always been the main one supporting our household. It's exhausting. He always had excuses as to why he didn't get promoted or doesn't get better jobs. I always believed him and have been rooting for him since day one, thinking this next job will be it. It'll be the one to lead to a good career. But it never happens, and I'm finally realizing it's him. He's the problem. He has no motivation and shows zero initiative. That's why I'm writing. After all my, quote, nagging, he recently admitted that he's content with low-level jobs forever. He doesn't need anything more to make him happy or fulfilled. I accept him for who he is, but I've always wanted more for myself, and the resentment is really starting to build up. Now my question is, do I stay with him out of love and accept that I'll never reach my financial goals because he's holding us back? Or is it time I let him go and accept that I might just be alone forever? I'm so torn and don't want to end up regretting my decision years down the line. Thank you, Kate."
Jesus, this is another heavy one.
And she's a mover and a shaker.
You're really bringing the drama, Eric.
She's great.
Hi, Kate. This is Eric
Hi,
Bana.
Kate.
Hi.
He's here to help you today. Hi. Wow, that was a heavy letter. That's heavy thinking.
Yeah, it's been weighing on me.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like it. I would say to you, if you're talking about resentment, that really doesn't go away. If you're going to accept somebody for who they are, that's one thing, but he's kind of falsely advertising who he really is, who he really was to a degree. So that adds another layer of resentment. And I would say I wouldn't look at this decision as like a binary choice, like, okay, I'm staying or going. It's actually, now that you've written all of this, you've said it out loud, you're calling in, you're acknowledging all these feelings. It's kind of like, okay, well, where does this new information take you? Now that you know he's content living like that, I don't want you to look at it like, what if I'm alone forever? Don't look at anything like that. Like, that's not the option. It's not him or you're alone forever. You could meet somebody else down the road. You could meet somebody in 2 months. You could meet somebody in 2 years. You never know who you're going to meet. I doubt you're going to be alone. Most people aren't. Just by everything that you're saying, it sounds like you're getting ready to make a move.
I'm definitely leaning on that side of I think that's where my head is at. I think I don't know. I just love having like an outside perspective of like, am I making the right choice? I don't know, just any sort of validation that I'm not screwing this up by leaving. It's just a lot of mixed emotions. So I'm just trying to talk to a therapist. I'm trying to talk to all my friends. I'm trying to talk to family. Right. Outside perspectives is, I'm just trying to not make like a rash move immediately and just like,
right. I think that's smart. I don't think it should be a rash move, but I think you should acknowledge everything that you're feeling. Like, if you have a lot of resentment, that's not necessarily just going to disappear. And being ambitious and wanting more for yourself is not selfish. That's the type of person you are. And acknowledging that is really important. As a woman. It's really important also to acknowledge that and not to be held back by this idea of like loyalty or love. Like, he'll be okay too. Everyone survives. People get divorced all the time. If that's the road that you go down, you really just also have to honor where you see yourself in your life. Like, take the time that is necessary to make a deep decision like this and spend time alone with yourself, with your thoughts, with a therapist, and really contemplate like how you see your future moving forward without him, if that's, one option, and how it would look with him.
Yeah. And I think that's, kind of what I've been talking to with my therapist is just like what my values are. And I feel like we're just kind of growing apart, and like my values and his values maybe don't align at this point. Like maybe they did 10 years ago, but at this point I feel like I'm trying to like continue to grow myself and like improve myself. And I just don't think that he cares to do that. And so, if those values don't align, like,
it's not even values. It's just kind of like values almost sounds like you're judging him for it's what you want, your desires. Like you're desiring a different type of life. It's not like he's a bad guy and you're a good person. It's not like that. It's just that you kind of seem like you're on two different trajectories. He's content with where he is and you're not. So
it's got to also be really, really tough because you guys obviously met really young. You've been together for a long time. So
we did.
In a lot of ways.
Like 19, 20.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, you didn't get to see your fully formed partner until you were well and truly married. So like if you had met in your mid-20s, it's maybe a little different. You may have identified things in your husband that you can now that would have been less negotiable up until now. I'm really sorry you're in this position. Part of me thinks, there's a naive part of me that goes, he sounds like a really, I don't want to say low maintenance husband, but is he happy with I know so many men who are so driven and have achieved so much and who are so miserable and bitter. And then I hear this story, I'm like, this guy doesn't have as much as a lot of people, but is he truly happy? Or I don't know enough about him to be able to make, that sort of a call. But there's a side of me that goes, that's kind of a really nice thing as well. That's someone who's not crazily driven, still really happy with their lot in life. And I'm hoping he adores you. So there's that side, obviously, but I can hear in your voice that maybe that's not fully the case. It's a real tough one, but you could also end up with someone who's all the things you want, who's incredibly driven, who's maybe never home and is just miserable all the time. I mean, that's also possible, right?
Right,
Yeah.
Not discounting any of the way you're feeling, as Chelsea
yeah,
saying.
I just think it's really important as women, first and foremost, to really honor the thoughts and feelings you have around a relationship and not stay there for someone else. You know what I mean? You really have to look out for yourself because no one else is going to look out for you but you. Like no one is going to make the best decisions for yourself. And whatever your decision ends up being is going to be the right one anyway. You're going to make a left or you're going to make a right and you're going to double down in that direction. And if you stay, you're going to double down on your marriage and and good things can come from that too. It's just, it's kind of like almost like you have to become non-emotional about it,
Yeah, that's the hard part because, I completely agree with, he's such a great person. And that's why I look at my life like, will I meet anybody that's so low maintenance as him? He's like the most low maintenance person ever. But the same thing you're saying too, Chelsea, I'm a woman and I feel like I need to look out for myself and my desires. I don't know. It's such a hard place to be in. So
there's no rush at all.
Yeah.
It's good to just really think. I mean, the only bad decisions are the really impulsive ones. So as long as you're putting a lot of thought into this, you're going to come out and make the right decision.
I hope so.
One thing that might help as you're sort of making this decision is...
Would it help to have sex with Eric Bana? Would that help in making this decision?
He's on offer.
Clearly not.
Because we could do this right now.
That may help.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
if that would you be willing to do that if you thought it would help, Eric? He acts like this, but
Oh dear, I'm
he
sorry.
acts shy and
She's in her car, and she's sharing her
her
life with you,
maybe
and
that's
you
what
just
I
I'm just
need.
thinking out loud.
Creative
Look at it.
solutions.
I mean, this is a good solution, actually. I mean, this wasn't the
He's just
intention of
trying
this
to
phone call,
weigh
but
the options.
look, here we are now. Here we are.
But as you're sort of dealing with these two very different decisions, one thing you can do is pretend like you've made a decision one way and sit with it for a couple of days and feel how
That's a
it
good
feels.
idea.
And then take a couple of days where you've quote unquote made the other decision and see which one feels good, which one feels like a relief to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of been doing that over the last couple months. And I think I keep going back to leaving and, I think that's my answer. I don't know. Yeah, trying to make sure that's the right answer. And so I appreciate all of the advice from everybody.
Keep us posted when you do make a decision. I'd like to know what happens. And Eric wants a follow-up too. He wants to know what happens to all of our
You
callers
give Eric
today.
my number.
But
I want to know. I want to
think
know what happens.
Eric's
I really
married.
do.
I've already tried to have sex with him. It's not going to work. He's actually married happily. So, but not that. But listen. I think all of these conversations, I think a lot of women are going through this right now. You're not alone in this.
Right.
There's a lot of women of our age that are happy. I mean, I'm sure you're younger than me, but in the world today, realizing well, why? Maybe we don't need this partner. Maybe I certainly don't need a partner. For what? You better bring a lot to the table.
Yeah.
So I can totally relate to why you would be feeling this way and that so many women are feeling this way.
Do you have children together?
No, thank God. That's the one thing I don't have to worry about. I mean, we have a lot of animals, but no children. So
okay, well, I would say that's
the
your
good
answer
thing.
right there. I would say you can get out free without children, then
Get the hell out.
yeah, then get out. I don't mean to be harsh about it, but that's how I feel.
No, but I appreciate the harshness because I'm kind of a harsh person too. So
Yeah.
like, but with him, I've just been taking care of him for our whole entire lives.
Yeah.
And so I feel like he's the one person that I'm not harsh with. And maybe I need to do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Kate, will you follow up with us?
I will, absolutely.
Thanks
I will
for
let you guys
calling,
know.
Kate.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
Good luck, Kate.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Chelsea, I think you bring up a really good point, and I mentioned this to her when we chatted in our pre-interview. Is like, I feel like for me right now, there's a lot of women around me who are leaving a marriage not because there was some big chaotic breakup or cheating or whatever. It's just because like I think there's something better, or this doesn't feel like the right fit, or we've grown apart.
And that's not a bad, like, that's not the
No.
biggest failure in the world when something doesn't work out. Like, I think that's what women are coming to grips with, that it's not the end of your world.
Yeah.
If you break up, if your marriage breaks up, like the dissolution of a marriage doesn't mean it's over. Like, you can have a new beginning. And
Right.
like, and you know, men seem to have 9 lives. Men get married 3 or 4 times, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, women just aren't as codependent. And women are like, you know, they're going through something. I mean, I feel like when you have to make a really hard decision, Eric, is there a decision you can think of that you really had to struggle with? Because I always just think, make a decision in either direction and then just go with that.
I do sit on them for quite a long time. Like
Indecisive.
Not indecisive. I don't like to feel pressured into making a quick decision. You know, so I'm comfortable sitting on it for quite a while. But it sounds like I could just hear it in her voice. She's lost some respect for him.
Yeah.
It's hard to move past that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
Once
so.
you get to that point.
Yeah. Because it all sounds like a great idea when you're starting out, but you have to grow and evolve together. And taking care of someone is not sexy. That's
Right.
not hot. You
Right.
know, no one gets turned on by that.
Yeah.
They think they're going to like that, but there is some sort of like awakening or like uprising happening with women right now. So
And you are helping forge that.
I am. I've
Yeah.
been helping forge it before
No,
I
it's
was
cool.
even
It's
here.
awesome.
Well, thank you. I couldn't tell if you were serious
No,
or not.
I'm deadly serious.
I appreciate that.
I'm deadly serious.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably helped a lot of people really, really move on and like empower
But
them.
and I'm not like a proponent of like I don't want to be a relationship wrecker. Like, get away from him. Like, I'm not anti-man. I just think that I'm pro-woman. You know what I mean?
And you're just saying it's not the end of the world. Like, don't look at yourself as a failure
right.
if a relationship doesn't work. Because I think a lot of people do have that baggage associated with it. Like, how's this going to? Am I a failure if this fails? Like, how does this reflect on me as a person?
Right,
you know?
right.
Like, it's not the end of the world.
No, and you survive everything. I mean, you know, even if someone if the worst things that could happen in your life, you are survivable. So once you have enough life experience, you realize, oh, I'm not going to be broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody another person doesn't necessarily have the power to break you. That's kind of on you.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool message.
Okay, we're going to wrap up. We'll be right back. I'm going to give Eric a quick bath, and then we're going to be right back to wrap up this podcast. And we're back with Eric Bana.
I'm so much cleaner now.
Eric Bana, one of my favorite people. Love him so much. Love you so much. You're on, and the new show is called Untamed. It's now streaming on Netflix. So if you want to watch some Eric Bana porn, that's where you should watch it.
6 whole hours of it.
6 hours of Eric Bana. You don't come at us all the time. So when we get you, we have to watch it.
It's limited
You know,
supply.
Yeah, you're not oversaturating yourself.
No.
So no, it's a limited supply, and we're lucky to have it.
Get it before the Wi-Fi drops out, I say. You know, like, that's right. Limited supply.
I also want to say one thing about Australians before you go. I have a lot of Australians in my life, and they.
I don't have to rub it in. I thought.
Well,
I mean, I
not
feel
from
less
Melbourne.
special.
Most of them are
Oh.
Sydney, but they always think they're right about everything.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a Sydney thing, darling.
Is it?
It's a Sydney.
Is it? Because that's what my next question was
so
going to
you
be.
need more people from Melbourne, bit more.
Yeah,
keep it
explaining to
real.
me, like I was listening to a podcast with my friend, she's Australian, and while we were listening to the podcast, she was explaining the podcast to me. I'm like, I can't fucking hear anything.
How is it? It's just because you always hang out in Sydney. How is it you don't have many Melbourne friends? You have more.
I don't
Sydney
know,
friends?
because I think Melbourne
Could be
people
something to do with
stay
it.
in Australia and Sydney people move to the States.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Sydney is my city there. I would love to live in Australia one day. I mean, that's really just like kind of a very idyllic lifestyle.
It is a great place to live. But hey, you got it pretty good here. You got your little place up in Whistler there. You just get up there with your dogs and
my bear.
Your bear
and my bear that I'm going to find in a dog.
Stake out on your front porch.
I don't think so. I'm not that stupid.
I'm hearing 3 properties, none of them in Australia. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what you are hearing.
Yeah.
That's what you're hearing. No miracle ear for you. You've got this. Okay, Eric, thank you so much.
It's so awesome to see you. Thanks for having me.
Always. Loved it.
Oh, God.